Well, hello. I have a strategy for Greece. It's a grand strategy. Grand meaning, of course, that it covers everything, right? Behind the camera today we have Dr. Dan Gallagher, and he's going to be coming in with comments. You may not see his beautiful face during this, but Dan, feel free, to come in anytime with any comments, okay? So, grand strategy, all right? Okay. It all began, this grand strategy began when I was in a class on religion, believe it or not, in Beloit College in Wisconsin, and a wonderful professor said to us, we're always blaming man for his sins, for everything that goes wrong. But what happens if you put a good man in a bad system? So this was the beginning of this strategy, because when I heard that from Professor Augie Fry, I became a systems optimizer. I agreed with his observation that evil was in systems, not in the people. So as far back as 1954, I began looking at every human system and studying how they could be optimized, improved, changed, and so on to create an earthly paradise. Because I think what's happened now, and the reason this is going up on the web, is that people have forgotten that we're capable of creating an earthly paradise. There have been many earthly paradises. There have been many periods of peace in history and so on when people lived wonderfully, right? And we've lost the vision of this, all right? Everyone today now thinks, oh, we're in apocalyptic mode, everything's falling apart. So that's what this is all about, right? Now, before I get into the details of this strategy, it's got a lot of details because it's a grand strategy. It'll cover education, finance, everything, all right? Before I get into that, I'd like to just spend some time looking at what are the elements or the aspects, all the various parts of this strategy. What do they have in common, all right? Well, the first thing they have in common is that they're all anti-waste. Way back about the time I learned that important thing about systems from Augie Fry, a New Zealand artist said to me, there's enough for everybody if we just don't waste. And I think that's one of the brilliant political observations that I've ever heard. So almost every one of the solutions in the strategy is involved in eliminating waste. The word waste is ugly. I don't like it too much, right? Conservation has a nicer sound to it, right? But it's got connotations, so I don't know what word we could use for anti-waste. But there's no doubt governments have contributed to waste, right? Our society is rife with waste. In America, 40% of the food we raise goes in the garbage, or so they say, okay? In Greece or wherever, I'm sure it's similar. The waste involved in our society is extraordinary. So one of the things that unites all the steps and all the solutions that are in this strategy is the elimination of waste, okay? And the second, of course, is what I just mentioned, systems, optimizing systems. We live in systems, right? And on the subject of systems, we have to come to Marx right away, all right? Because Marx, obviously a brilliant man, a great writer and so on, but Marx unfortunately left a legacy of belief which is very dangerous. And the first false idea, if you wish, of Marx, or one which has been adopted worldwide by all the economists, is solutions are economic. The way you solve problems is by moving money from here to here, spending money here, taking money from here. This is the basic belief of Marxism, and though America claims not to be a Marxist country by that definition, it is, and all the countries are caught in, I call this the thrall of Marxism, right, is that solutions are economic. So one of the things about this strategy is that the solutions in the strategy are not generally involved moving money here and spending money there. Some of them cost money, but they're not basically, the old-fashioned way of solving problems by throwing money at it. All right. Okay, and then we have to talk about feasibility. All right, anyone can have a dream. You can dream of a ladder to the moon, right, or living under the ocean and so on. But dreams, visions, anyone can have a vision. I'm not a visionary. This is not a set of visions that I've had, right? There's when a vision becomes feasible, then you have a solution. Right? So I don't have a vision of what Greece can look like or what the world can look like. I have solutions, adjustments, changes, which will actually create a kind of paradise on earth. I believe that with a good enough tune-up to our society, that we can really create this paradise, and so fast you won't believe it.